All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about a huge transformation that's happening on factory floors. A real story of moving from total chaos to absolute clarity. And it's all thanks to something called the Machynx effect. Trust me, it's an effect so powerful it is completely rewriting the manufacturing playbook.
So, what are we really talking about here? Well, think about it like this. It's the difference between trying to fly a plane with no instruments and having a crystal clear, high-tech dashboard. The old way, it was a world of guesswork and constant firefighting. You were always just reacting to problems after they'd already cost you time and money. The new way, it's all about precision. It's about proactive control, where you can actually see what's coming down the pike and fix it before it becomes a disaster.
So let's rewind a little bit and really dig into that age of guesswork. I mean, what was the fundamental problem here? Well, for so many factories, the biggest challenge was simply that they were operating completely in the dark. They just didn't have basic visibility into what their most expensive, most critical assets were actually doing at any given moment.
And this might sound kind of old school, but for decades, this was just reality. Factories were running on handwritten paper logs, on these clunky, time-consuming Excel sheets that were just riddled with errors. The data was always late, so by the time you spotted a problem, the chance to fix it was long gone. You had no real idea how much time your machines were just sitting there, doing nothing. And it meant that managers were forced to make these huge, costly decisions based on a gut feeling, not on actual facts.
And that exact problem is what created the need for the Machynx effect. To put it simply, it's all about one big shift, from being reactive to becoming proactive. And what's the engine driving this whole transformation? It's a clear, live window that shows you exactly what your machines and your people are doing in real time. It turns all that guesswork into cold, hard certainty.
And look, this isn't just some abstract theory. I love this quote from a factory managing director. He said, "Before, we had no idea how much time our machines sat idle. Now we see everything live." Just stop and imagine that for a second. Going from total, blind uncertainty about your most valuable equipment to complete, live visibility. That right there is the kind of power we were talking about.
So you might be wondering, what does this actually look like in practice? What happens when you open up this new window into reality? Well, let's explore how this live data really transforms the factory floor, from the person running the machine all the way up to the entire production line. Okay, and this is a really, really critical point. This is not about surveillance. This is not some big brother thing watching over people's shoulders. The whole goal is to empower the operators. It's about giving the folks on the front lines the tools and the information they need to do their jobs better with way less stress and a lot more ownership.
For the operators on the ground, this is a total game changer. I mean, all of a sudden, they can see a machine's status: running, idle, error, live. All that tedious paperwork, filling out job cards, trying to remember why a machine went down 3 hours ago, gone. The focus shifts completely to what matters: keeping the machines productive. With a simple RFID login, they're connected to their machine, and a real sense of ownership starts to build. And you know what? They loved it. Most learned the system in a single shift and would even start checking their own performance out of curiosity. But okay, this visibility goes way beyond just one operator. It starts to impact the entire production and quality process. When you can track the performance of every single machine in real time, you get a level of control that was just unthinkable before. Suddenly, you're not just making parts, you're perfecting the process of making parts, minute by minute. And get this, the transformation happens fast. We're talking within the first week, operators are totally up to speed. By week 2, shift plans are already changing in real time to stop bottlenecks before they even start. And pretty soon, consistent, high-level performance, well, it's not some goal you're striving for. It just becomes the new normal.
Now, this new reality also completely redefines the role of the supervisor. Their job totally flips on its head. It goes from being a reactive problem solver who's always a step behind to being an instant responder who can see an issue the second it happens and jump on it immediately. For a supervisor, this dashboard is like having a superpower. It directly connects seeing with doing. You see a machine is idle, you can respond right now, not hours from now. You see the part output dipping a little, you can identify and fix that inefficiency on the spot. It is a complete shift from managing by just walking around and hoping for the best to managing based on what is actually happening this very second. So when you change the technology this much, something else inevitably starts to change too, and that's the culture. This is all about building an environment of data-driven people and performance, where continuous improvement stops being just a buzzword on a poster and becomes something that's actually baked into the daily workflow.
And a huge piece of that cultural puzzle is accountability. It moves away from that old, subjective, and frankly unfair system based on who remembers what, the whole he said, she said mess. Instead, it becomes objective and transparent. When performance is based on clear, data-driven insights, it's finally fair for everyone involved. And with that fair data, you can start managing people in a much smarter, more human way. All of a sudden, you can see exactly who might need a little extra training and develop a program just for them. You can easily and fairly recognize your top performers, and you can get to team members who are struggling and coach them right away before a small issue snowballs into a big problem. The entire mindset of the floor shifts to proactive, hour-by-hour improvement.
Okay, so all of this is amazing for right now, but what about the future? See, this real-time visibility isn't the end of the story, not even close. It's actually just the beginning. All of this data you're collecting is building the foundation for the AI-ready factory of tomorrow. And here is the absolute kicker. The system that's getting installed today, it's already AI-ready. That means the foundational data you need for the next generation of artificial intelligence is being collected right now, without needing any expensive hardware changes down the line. It's basically future-proofing the factory today. So you can really start to see the roadmap taking shape. Right now, step 1 is all about mastering that data collection. Step 2, the next phase, is using all that data to power predictive algorithms that can spot anomalies before they cause a shutdown. And from there, the future, step 3, is about things like auto-scheduling systems and predictive maintenance, where the factory essentially begins to heal itself. All right, so let's bring this all home. As we wrap up, what's the ultimate effect? What is the big so what here? Why does all of this real-time data truly matter, beyond just being a bunch of numbers on a screen? It really boils down to one simple but incredibly powerful idea. The goal is to have data-backed decisions, but people-led improvements. The technology is the tool, it's the enabler, but it's the empowered, informed people on the factory floor who drive the real, lasting change. So the true transformation, then, isn't just one thing, it's everything. It's about reducing stress for the people on the shop floor. It's about bringing peace of mind to management. It's about building a sustainable culture where everyone is always improving. And ultimately, it's about driving genuine, measurable change that you can see in the data and you can actually feel on the shop floor. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. When all the data is transparent, when it's visible to absolutely everyone, from the operator running the machine to the MD in the corner office, who is responsible for improvement? The answer, of course, is everyone. And that shared responsibility, well, that might just be the most powerful effect of all.